Hello to everyone in Lagos and Nigeria as a whole. I am Anigioro from Moshalashi Lake, Alagbado, Lagos, Nigeria. I took the massive open online course on Coursera titled Turn Down the Heat: Why a 4-degree warmer world must be avoided, organized by World Bank. In the course, we must prepare to take steps to avoid this global temperature. I rightly understand that we have to act individually, act together, and act differently to combat this threat. In Nigeria, the major source of greenhouse gas emissions are fossil fuel and gas sale of crude oil, which generates over 14% of the total GDP. Fossil energy sources, which are oil and gas, are mostly exported or wasted through leakages or flaring. That's according to the OECD Development Center and African Development Bank, recorded 2003/2004, to increase in greenhouse gas and global warming. Nigeria is one of the leading producers and users of fossil fuel in the world, but it appears that the oil resource could be if issues of sustainable environmental management, such as abatement of greenhouse gas emission and climate change adaptation strategies, are not taken seriously now. Unfortunately, there are no sufficient data evidence about the actual major determinant of greenhouse gas emission in sub-Saharan Africa. This situation, if unchanged, can lead to the occurrence of the forecast on the deleterious effect of climate change on livelihood and economies predicted by IPCC 2007 and Yohe et al. 2007, more especially as there are sufficient evidence to show that CO2 emission have significant. Researchers Hueladin and Nicolaisen, recorded in 1991, have warned that the cost of limiting CO2 emissions is likely to be much higher in developing countries and other sub-Saharan African countries due to their faster underlying growth rate. Even if they were allowed to double or triple their emissions over another 100 years, they might still face higher costs than developed countries under much more stringent targets. They noted. On the other hand, large reductions in man-made CO2 emissions are possible on a global scale only if the developing countries also take action. The areas that the climate change is affecting Nigeria are: 1. Agriculture. The rate of food production is being decreased due to the farmlands used for agriculture has dried, so could not be used as farmland any longer. Farmers appear to be abandoning monocropping for mixed and mixed crop practicing under dry land, while excessive flooding during the past decade has hurt farming in coastal communities. The second area is water resources. The water resources system in Nigeria has not yet standardized. Adding the effect of climate change will worsen the water resources system, which will bring about serious challenges. In Nigeria, while rainfall has decreased by 92 millimeters, temperature increased by 0.8 degrees Celsius since 1960. The third area I'll talk about is ecosystem. Nigeria has a variety of ecosystems, from mangroves and rainforests of the Atlantic coast in the south to the savanna in the north bordering the Sahara. Whether dry or wet, those ecosystems are being battered by global warming. Many of the plants and animals in the ecosystem are being displaced or will be displaced, thereby looks for new suitable abode. This situation will lead to loss of the natural habitat in our ecosystem. The last part I'm going to talk about as regards climate change effect is human health. According to Dr. Lanre Onigbogi, a lecturer at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, note, he said harmattan comes from Sahara Desert, and because of desertification of the desert, it surely has its bearing on climate change and health impact on human. As soil becomes hot, malaria organisms rise up and find human body components, and because of poor resistance by the human body, different kinds of sicknesses will set in. Inadequate knowledge of the severity of disease conditions, poor access to health facilities, lack of equipment at facilities, and availability of health personnel, and poor attitudes of health workers lead to decreased access in seeking health care. I felt the water resources will be more threatening factor because if there is no water to support crop, livestock, and human, it will lead to an untold situation in the country. Some of the mitigations steps that the government of Nigeria is taking, according to the Department of Climate Change, is set to drive the practical fulfillment of the federal government's vision for mitigating and adapting to the impact of climate change. The department will also provide leadership in promoting for people to adapt to all this situation. The adaptation area, if all this will come in Nigeria because of climate change, it may not, but it will be subsumed into future budget and projects because the nation is advancing and aligning with new trends globally. Then it will. The plans are started right away. The Nigerian government have to put in place more policies which are realizable within a short period of time if the issue of climate change are to be put in place or hindered. Nigeria have to start acting now so that we could join the rest of the world to make. Thank you for your time.